right mindset, which is that we don't want to think about what's happening today. We need to think about what's happening 20 years from today, and think and design programs and manage our facilities like that. One of the things that happens is that when people say, well, so I'll give you an example from some other community, okay, where somebody who's in power, he says, look, nothing is going to happen except if it goes through me. What happens is that immediately volunteerism dies. Nobody wants to volunteer to make somebody else shine. Okay, so good leaders, what they do is that they say, you know what, they let other people shine. They say, you know what, you come forward. They'll stand on the mic and say, you know what, I want to help. I want to really thank brother Ahmed al-Bashir. He's been so helpful. He sets up this program. And the brother Ahmed al-Bashir feels good. He feels motivated to do it more because he's being thanked. And other people say, you know what, if I do something, maybe he'll talk about me too. But when it's the other way around, it's like, oh, stealing of the ideas of other people and then showing them as your own idea. I did this, I did that. Immediately, the volunteerism goes out. So that's something that we need to look at. If there's a problem of volunteerism, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Also, what's missing is that unity is very important, and vision, having a far-off vision is very important. If you're just thinking about, I just need to get through today, you're not going to make the smartest decisions. But if you're thinking about, I don't need to just get through today, I need to get through the next 10 years. What can we do to make sure that we are really good? And that's why we were discussing this morning in the Under 40 Club, is that we have Masjid in other places, and even forget about other places. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, the masjid that they built, they actually, from the masjid's finances and donations and fundraising, they actually bought a strip mall. And this strip mall earns $250,000 a year. Okay, so I said that, is it enough to take care of the expenses? He said it's not enough, but number one, we have some extra income. And number two, the masjid has an asset. The masjid has an asset. So historically, this is what it used to be, is that the masjid, there used to be awqaf, okay, or waqf, where people would make an endowment, and colleges do this, universities do these, charity organizations do these. They have businesses that they invest in, and these businesses pay profits to the charity organization. So that way you have a masjid which is truly financially independent. Okay, the rate at which ISA is growing, in a few years from now, it's going to become difficult to sustain a huge budget without having some of its own income. Think about that. So there needs to be some plans of having some type of income, and endowments are very important. You don't see any donation box in Mecca and Medina. Okay, so in Mecca, right in front of the Haram, you have the clock tower. That whole big piece of land where all those tall buildings are, this is actually waqf from Malik Abdul Aziz to the Haram. So all of those hotels, they rent that space, they make their money, lots of money, and they pay a huge rent to the Ministry of Awqaf, and that money takes care of the entire operation of the Haram. Mecca has about 5,000 workers, and you don't see a single donation box there. Okay, so that's the type of idea that we need to think, having a far-off vision, not just thinking about today, but thinking about how will it be sustained. And having values, which means that you need to have the right values. That, okay, we need to have an income, so okay, should we go and buy a bank, buy some type of medical marijuana business or something like that, just because we need to have the right values. Just to do the right thing, we can't go about it the right way. Unfortunately, many Muslim communities, they have this, that say, you know what, I want to serve the masjid, but I'm willing to go to any length to win this election. Unfortunately, so that doesn't work and doesn't go too far. And and lastly, is that the masjid or the organizations should be training grounds for tomorrow's leaders. Training grounds for tomorrow leaders. So we have a question there, which is, imagine if all the people over 40 were for some reason not available to come to the masjid. Would the community survive? Are the young people ready to take over? And we would say, no, they're not ready. How will they get ready? By giving them small responsibilities, by giving them a chance. Okay, and you have the cricket team idea, which is that some of the really good cricket teams like Australia, New Zealand, if you see that some of their guys that play, they're like 40 years old, 45 years old. Okay, and what do they have? The way they do is that they have half the team retires, and the new half is now the people who have been there for last how many years, and they have been trained. And the old batch goes out, this batch now becomes the old batch, and they take in new guys, half the team. For the next few years, they will play together. So this new batch will learn from the old batch, then the old batch will retire, and the new batch will become the old batch, and then they take in a new batch. So, this is something Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh, as the Khalifa, he had Abdullah ibn Abbas as part of his shura, who was how old? He was a teenager at the time. So he was taking his consultation on issues of the interpretation of the Quran, but he's also getting him ready to be the leader of tomorrow. So to see how government works, how management works. So these are things that we need to think about, and we really need to get our young people. The Prophet ﷺ, he would give young companions, he would give them a mission. And he would tell them, I'm giving you this mission, and I'm watching how you're going to do. If you do good, I will give you more. And if they didn't do good, then the Prophet wouldn't give them any more important missions, or if he needed to give them feedback, he would give them feedback. But they say that our kids are not responsible. How will your kids be responsible when you never give them any responsibility? You're supposed to give them small little jobs and then train them, give them feedback so that they grow. And I hope that covers some basic stuff about the Masjid of the 21st century. And inshallah, now we can take any questions or comments. Yes?
The first suggestion, please add it to class 12 in school, this lecture.
Class 12?
Yeah, I guess it will be good for them.
Okay.
Second, we debated the issue of the partitioning the masjid between women and men, and the previous imam convinced us that the first line will be just behind the partition.
So the scholars, they say that if there's a partition, then the first line could be right behind the partition. But if there's no partition, then the old way would work better, which is the first line is the last line.
Actually, there's plenty of discussion, but just
I know.
I want to make an announcement, at least.
You can stand up and make it, please.
There are two things that are important for all you to know. On the next Saturday, when we come now, they're one of the candidates. Actually, he asked us to visit us and to know about us. If you are interested, let me know, because we can arrange that you're going to, after meeting with the leaders of the mosque, we can arrange for other members to meet him. So this is on the 10th. On the 17th...
That's 1 o'clock, Saturday.
At 1 o'clock. The next one, 17, we have another important issue, and also I hope that everybody will come. Care Georgia is coming to us. They will make a presentation, and also this will be fundraising. They are doing a very important work, and as the man said, that they are engaged with the media all the time. So this will be between 3 and 4:30 on 17. So please make sure that you attend this.
First.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so there's one big opportunity.
But Allah, make these two announcements on Friday, more audience.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's a private function
The private function, and again, there's separation.
of church and state.
Okay, and this is
Okay.
one thing about decentralization and decentralization. But now the point that I have limitation, and again, when some come to political issues, we have to be careful so that I'm doing the things as not the ISA,
Yeah.
but as community.
Now, this politician, they are smart and they understand this. So they actually emailed us and they said the candidate wants to come and hear from the community what problems they're facing.
On Facebook,
Okay, there's
you
no-
make an event,
Yeah.
and people can say yes, no, or maybe.
Okay. No, you know what? Please, he has some optimism. Please don't destroy that. Take him in and put him to work.
Okay, but most time people, they don't recommend and they show up. Fine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, brother Yusuf.
It's like a voting.
Okay, let's give it to brother Yusuf. Hafsa?
Which way we can encourage our in charge of the community, like a executive committee or the BOT, they should come in our activities. Because
Yes.
it is the most important thing which is missing, because if they do not listen, how they can do good work?
You know, in my previous masjid in Atlantic City, I made it a rule that the president and the vice president has to be sitting right there when we do programs. Hint, hint. Yes, Brother Salanti.
There's just a quick comment, because this is a long discussion why people are demotivated. But we need to make a community open discussion about what resentments the people have, especially when there's like a political event happening and the people feel that they are being shut down. Like, yeah, the guy is here, but you can't really ask any question that you have in mind, and you have to filter it or get it through us or something. That whether this is right or wrong, I'm not disagreeing that this sometimes needs to be done, but we need to be open-minded and need to understand that people have real resentments, and have real issues, and we need to discuss them openly and know that the power comes from the people, not from the administration. And I have a few comments, but I'm going to discuss them.
جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Inshallah, join us next Saturday evening as well. We have a very interesting topic as well, which is campus da'wah. You know, campus da'wah, tools and tips, inshallah.